We are continuing from objectives of planning. We're continuing from objective of planning, and there are three main objectives of economic plan. Three main objectives of what? Economic plan. Now, this objective, why I call it three main objectives, is because these objectives are structured into three. They are summarized and categorized just into three, but there are many. One of these objectives, these three categories include economic objective, social objective, and political objective. What I mean, what this implies is that whatever whatever economic plan you are developing for a country, it must cover these three major objectives. The economic objective must be covered, the social objective must be covered, the political objective must also be what? Covered. So now, what we are going to do here is to gradually disintegrate these objectives, break them down part by part, and see what we have under each of the objectives. So we go with the economic objective. What we are saying here is we are talking about the things, the goal that the objective must achieve. That is what we are saying here. So what are those economic goals? One of them is that there must be better utilization of national resources. The plan should provide for better utilization of national resources, whereby there won't be wastage. Our resources, both natural and human, will be better utilized. How do we best use our mineral resources like iron ore, our limestone, our gold, our which one is in Jos, all this Zamfara and so on. We are hearing of uranium. We are hearing of different natural resources. But instead of allowing it to cause division between us as people, we will utilize them collectively and then use it to better the economy. All this has to be contained in the plan. Of course, when we are talking about better utilization of national resources, it means we are trying to achieve full employment. That is objective number 2 under economic objective, that we should achieve full employment. When you are able to manage the resources, you are able to utilize the resources effectively, then or efficiently, then you'll be able to achieve full employment. And what is full employment that I said? What is full employment that I've said? It has to do with a situation where all the national resources are adequately utilized. All the national resources are adequately utilized. The next thing that you can achieve is to promote balanced development. You can promote balanced development. Now, how do you do that? When you are able to take care of all the economic resources in the objective, how they should be harnessed, how they should be properly used and utilized, you are able to promote, achieve full employment, then of course there will be balanced development. All the sectors of the economy will be developing side by side. Not that in a country, okay, they say the agricultural sector is doing very well. Oh wow, we have a good product, whatever we are achieving. We have a good value chain for the product that is being produced in the agricultural sector, but health sector is nothing to write home about. Education sector, balanced development is when all sectors of the economy, all segments are growing, agricultural, industrial, and otherwise. Now, it is only through a good economic plan that such objective can be achieved. Now, what about minimize economic inequality? All economic plans are designed to minimize economic inequalities. Of course, you don't need to be told that in Nigeria the difference or the gap between the rich and the poor is so large. There are those who, as we are speaking, what you have in their house is trailer load of rice, coming in, 247. You understand? Anytime they need, they share. Fine, but they have it. And there are homes that, as I talk to you, which are very more in number, who have never bought one bag of rice in the past 10 years. This is rather unfortunate, but this is how the gap is. There are homes who have never, and for the past 10 years, the price of rice have actually moved, of course, from a very low amount, as low as 12,000 naira or 8,000 naira, to what we have today. But there are households that even then, when it was 8,000 naira, they've not been able to buy a bag of rice. So now, up to now, they've not been able to buy a bag of rice. This is how unequal the people of Nigeria are. In some places, in the other countries, we talk of middle class, but in Nigeria, there is no middle class. What we have is one extreme wealthy, rich end, the 1%, and the rest are just there. We can struggle within ourselves to to see who is more than the other, but the truth is the gap is very wide. The economic plan should be designed in such a way that it will cater for this objective of minimizing the inequalities, the gap. But it is not that you can zero it. Everybody can never be the same. The fingers are not designed to be equal. You understand? But it's what we have is to narrow that gap so that it won't be that much. Then the other one is to maximize production or maximum production and productivity. With a good economic plan, there should be maximum productivity in the country. This will come following better utilization of resources, which have led to full employment, which can lead to full employment and balanced growth. When this is done, then there could be maximum output. When you say maximum output, we don't only look at a production sector, like don't just look at how do I put it, one firm or one industry or one company producing the best, out of maximum production. No, when you talk about the education sector, is it delivering its best? Is it delivering its maximum output? When you talk about the what is it called? When you talk about the education sector or the health sector, are we getting the best result from the health sector? When you talk about the agricultural sector, are we getting the best result from the agricultural sector? This is what we are talking about in economic objective. Then we have the other sub-objective, which is to promote standard of living. Of course, if you are able to minimize the economic inequalities among citizens through the plan, you should be able to promote standard of living through the plan. You should be able to promote standard of living through the plan. So this is what the objective is set out to cater for or to take care. Then it also helps to, it is also part of the objective to attain self-reliance. Self-reliance. A situation where no matter what happens as a country, you will be able to cater for some domestic issues without resorting to borrowing, without resorting to seeking aid from any country or any international organization. Which means, of course, you should have developed your country in such a way that you are so self-sufficient that you are now exporting the remainder to other people. You are now exporting the remainder. Like we attain a point where, for instance, we so much produce our rice, our domestic rice consumption, that the remaining ones, we cannot do anything with it other than let's start exporting to Ghana, let's start exporting to Cameroon, let's start exporting to other neighboring countries. We have so much taken care of our insecurity issues in the country to the point that we are now trying to keep security, keep peace in other countries. Let's go to Sudan. Sudan, you need to be at peace. Let's go to DR Congo. DR Congo, you need to be at peace. Things like that. That is self-reliance. Self-reliance is when you are able to take care of all your needs, both social, economic, and political, that you can now start venturing into other countries. We have so developed our education sector that we are getting the best from our education sector so much that we are now inviting others to come and gain from our knowledge or from our output in the education sector. And of course, with a good economic plan, one of the objectives is to achieve economic security and stability, which is in line with self-reliance, economic security and stability. Now, the next broad objective is the social objective. The social objective, we have issue of what? Social security. We have social security. We have social welfare. And we have social equality. It is somehow difficult sometimes for some people to differentiate between social stand and economic stand. Where economic stand will principally just cater for resources, utilization, finances, and so on, the social objective is focusing more on the people, For instance, the old people, the pensioners, the unemployed, and things that makes an individual feel socially alive. These are the things that what is it called? Economic plan should cater for. This is the objective, the social objective that an economic plan should cater for. It is a social objective for an average citizen to have access to education, access to medical facility, to Medicare, access to good transport system, even access to accommodation and houses. You understand? It is incumbent on the economic plan to cater for these social objectives. That is why you hear the federal government or the state government at one point they will say they are developing 2,000 housing units in social area to cater for the accommodation issues of particular environment. It is on this note that the government ensures that it provides adequate security for the people, that they have access to good transportation system or network. There are so many governmental facilities that enables an individual to feel socially alive, socially acceptable, and to see yourself as part of a social gathering. What plan does your government have for you now or for us when we are old, when we retire, the unemployed? What is there a social insurance scheme in the event of disaster? How is the government ready to take care of the social requirement or the social needs of the people? This is what the objective is all about. Every individual should be catered for, irrespective of religion, tribe, gender, and so on. Provision should be made that cater for everyone. Then we have the political objective. The political objective, every plan must have in its objective some guarantees that as a citizens of this country, politically, you are secured. And this objective includes issues of defense, issues of internal peace, and sometimes what we call political ego. The political objective cater for issues like defense from foreign attacks and aggression, which is very important. Your country owes you defense. So it's a political objective. Why is it political? Because if given the opportunity, a neighboring country will like your land and your resources and could just come overtake the country, take everybody, and annex you. You are already familiar with what is happening in Israel and Palestine, the issue of Gaza. You know what is happening in Ukraine and Russia. So every leader owes its citizens a duty to defend them. And this can be captured or should be captured in the development plan or in the economic plan as political objective. As what? Political objective. Then we talk about issue of internal peace as well. There must be internal peace. There should be maintenance of law and order. There should be maintenance of law and order. So it should be captured in the economic plan as well as political objective. Then the last one, which I call the political ego, it is an objective, not necessarily to be captured in the what is it called, in the economic plan, but then it can be achieved through the success of the plan. Through the success of the plan, because you and I know, you, because you and I know that most political parties in the country want to claim to be responsible for any progress that is made in the country. For instance, parties in power now is the APC. We had the PDP. They all want to satisfy some political ego through their development or economic plan, through their plans. So when these plans are successful, they tend to want to beat their chest to say it is during our regime that this was achieved. Any feat that was reached, that was achieved, the party in power will want to claim the glory. That's the word to use. They want to claim the glory. It was during our administration that rail track was constructed from so place to so place. You know, all this kind of thing. So when, that's why I said the political ego can only be satisfied or achieved based on the success of the plan. So it will form an objective, a political objective in the plan. So basically, we have come to the end of this class. We've been able to discuss types of plan, stages of plan, and objectives of plan. And with this, we come to the end of this study session. Please like, share, and subscribe for more of these lectures on economic planning. Thank you and remain blessed.